Africa is a continent of vast distances and vast problems. It is a land of conflicts and of constant struggles. This is the simple, unvarnished story of one of these struggles, the struggle of a group of Christian men and women in their efforts to relieve pain, heal the sick, and bring knowledge to the ignorant, and the Christian way of life to those who are lost in the darkness and vastness of the country which gave them birth. Meet Simon Mazala, a Christian African and a loyal worker for the university's mission to Central Africa. He is but one of the hundreds of university's mission workers who toil unceasingly to aid and educate their brother Africans. And many as these loyal workers are, they are but a handful among the millions of that part of Central Africa's population which lies within the territories where the mission is at work. Simon is a medical missionary, and his work, though it is but one factor of the mission's many activities, is of inestimable value. And yet, when we consider the vast areas of African territory and the vast multitudes who stand in need of such help, we can realize that in spite of the efforts of Simon and his fellows, their work is but a tiny drop in an ocean of want. There are countless villages for which the nearest mission station, hospital, clinic or school lies hundreds of miles away, hundreds of miles across country where there are no roads and few tracks. It's as though an Englishman living in Kent had to travel to Lancashire to visit a hospital, a school or a place of worship. But to return to Simon and his story, for to tell the story of Simon is to tell the story of the work of the mission. His story begins 25 years ago in a remote East African village. It was here that Simon was born. It was an anxious time for Simon's father, for tribal custom does not permit the father to see the mother during the period of her confinement. Inside the darkened hut, the mother was at the mercy of the old and ignorant women of the village who were by tradition the midwives. No wonder then that Simon's father, who was a man who had acquired a little education, wished to take his wife to the new mission hospital which lay but 20 miles away. But the elders of the village argued against such a break with tradition, and it was only when Simon's father, on learning that all was not well with his wife, insisted on taking her to the hospital that they finally and reluctantly agreed that she should go. Boycotted by most of the village and assisted only by a few friends, Simon's father set out for the mission hospital, carrying the unfortunate woman on a crude litter that had been her bed. Through the thickest and wildest of bush country, the party wended its way on its errand of mercy. And so they arrived after many hours of weary travel. The kindness and efficiency of the white people impressed Simon's father. He was glad he had come. He knew now that he need have no fear. His wife would be in safe hands. And so it was that Simon came into a world that was clean and bright. It was a good beginning. The early years passed quickly, and by the time Simon had reached boyhood, the mission had opened a school near his village. Simon, keen of mind and eager for knowledge, learned quickly and it was not long before his heart was set on a career. He wanted more than anything to be a medical missionary and to train at Minaki College. This is Minaki, the university's mission training college, where carefully selected students are trained to carry the work of the mission out into the towns and villages and into the remote regions where education, medical aid and spiritual guidance are most needed. Minaki Hospital, well known and well loved by the countless sick and injured who've recovered full health within its walls and grounds. Most are too poor to make any payment for the treatment they receive, but they're nonetheless welcome. Many come great distances for the healing of their infirmities and sickness. The work of the hospital never ceases, never pauses, and yet the need of the people is always greater than the resources available. For as faith in the white man's methods grows, so do more and still more Africans abandon their age-old superstitions and belief in magic and seek the aids of Western medicine. Here at Minaki, white doctors and nurses work hand in hand with their African helpers, who they themselves have trained. It is here in the hospital that many patients make their first acquaintance with practical Christianity, and often more than a cure of the body is achieved. Often it's the beginning of a new faith and a new way of life. The church at Minaki exemplifies the spirit of the mission. It was built by men of determination, and today stands as a monument to their fortitude, courage, and faith. Hills of Tanganyika, that Simon came to commence his medical and cultural studies. The journey was a long and tiring one, but eventually he arrived at the mission and was soon at home in the friendly and peaceful surroundings. There were new friends with whom to share the work and the pleasure, friends who, like Simon, were training for a life of service. For many of the students, the training at Minaki means great personal sacrifices for them and their parents. For although the fees are only 15 shillings a month for tuition, board and lodging and uniform, the money is not easily come by. Often it means hard work elsewhere in the holidays in order to save enough money to meet the fees. Prayer and worship at the church, roll call, prelude to each day of study in the classrooms of the college. These things became a part of the routine of Simon's life, a life that he grew to love. In addition to prayer and study, there was a lighter side to life at Minaki. The college band, for example, whose stirring music set the pupils' feet swinging as they marched happily to their classes. Simon proved a willing and progressive student. He learned much, and there was much to learn. For a wide variety of subjects is taught at Minaki, so as to give the students as broad and comprehensive an education as possible. Biology, anatomy, chemistry, geography, together with many other subjects, all give the student a firm scientific foundation for their medical studies. Simon's education followed this pattern, steadily advancing and expanding his mind. Sports of all kinds are encouraged at Minaki. As the months of intensive study passed, Simon, with renewed faith in his ultimate calling, made rapid progress. Important government and commercial posts are held today by Africans who received their education at Minaki, Kiwanda, Salabani, and other of the UMCA schools and training colleges. But for Simon, right from the start, there had been no doubt in his mind as to what he wanted to do. He desired more than anything to play his part in the healing of the sick and the spreading of knowledge, which would enable his less fortunate brothers and sisters to live happier lives. Simon, cheerful, unassuming, overworked Simon, is but one of the many who are too few. One of the willing workers for the cause of the university's mission to Central Africa. The many who are too few. Given the opportunity, the people of Central Africa are capable of helping themselves, capable of helping to remove the dark shadow of superstition and disease which hangs over them. The university's mission to Central Africa exists to bring to them the Christian way of life, and in so doing to give them that much-needed opportunity of helping themselves.